Imagine your brain is like this jar. The more you scroll, binge watch, and absorb useless information, the more full this jar gets and the less space you have for the important. The trick to doing more is emptying this jar and to stop filling it with distractions. In this video, I'm going to show you why doing less can actually help you accomplish more and how I keep my jar filled with the important. This is your brain here. I know it kind of looks like a basketball. It's big though, so we got a lot of knowledge up there, but just this is your brain. You have to think of it as a limited space where everything we consume takes up space. The problem is most of us just fill it with junk, with social media, scrolling, endless thoughts, endless to-do lists, and Netflix, YouTube, whatever. So let's say this is YouTube, fill in that part, Netflix, social media, endless thoughts, endless to-do lists, yada, yada, yada. And eventually there's no space for what actually matters. So eventually we have some guys who want to enter. We have focus, and he's trying to get in there, but there's no space left. We have clarity, and he's trying to get in there, but there's no space. And we have creativity, and he's trying to get in there too, but there's no space left. It's filled up with too much random, useless things. Distractions feel rewarding because they give us those quick dopamine hits we all love, but they take the mental capacity for the things that allow us to engage in deep work, make meaningful progress, and be creative as well. It's kind of like fast food. Fast food's rewarding when you're first eating it. It tastes amazing, but in the long run, it's damaging. So I always catch myself multitasking, but multitasking is a form of distraction. It breaks your focus into small fragments. It's kind of, so here's your 100% focus, and multitasking breaks it into 25%, 25%. Let's say this is your work, this is YouTube, and then let's say we're really multitasking. We got a podcast going too, and another 25% for the fly in the room. Bad example, but just for representation, this is what multitasking does. I always get caught up in this, but just reminding yourself that it's spreading out your focus can be important. So we want to avoid multitasking. We want to practice something called single tasking, giving our most high impact, high reward activities the most focus and the most general energy. So I used to try and balance it all. I used to balance business, fitness, content creation. I'll just write content, etc. You're probably wondering, Daniel, why are you saying these are distractions? Why are you saying it was hard to balance them? They seem pretty important. It wasn't these that were the actual problem. It was the little things in between, the YouTube videos, Netflix, and the social media. And I'm not trying to be hardcore and say you can't do any of this. It's just like I mentioned earlier, your brain is a cavity that gets filled with everything you consume. And you need to make sure these distracting things, these things that aren't as important, aren't taking up too much room. In my case, I was letting these take up way too much room. And then I was almost expanding my cavity and pushing it to its limits, which made me super stressed, drove me to not be able to sleep just because I was consuming so much, doing so much at the same time, multitasking, and wasn't actually focusing on the things that were important and giving the space in my brain for these things, allotting them just a little bit of space, and giving these the most space. So to give you a visual representation for that, we'll draw our brain again, or the basketball, line down the middle. We got a little brain nodules. So what I was doing, I was giving my distractions, YouTube, Netflix, etc. I was giving them probably everything except for this little space. And what I do now is this will be all of these fit into this little space. And all of this is allotted to the things that are actually important to me. And it doesn't have to be work related, it doesn't have to be business related, it doesn't have to do with your health. This could be family, spending time with your family. This is for friends. And this is time for me to spend with my cat. So how do we do less to do more? Step one, is auditing our inputs, what's coming in, looking at it, writing it down. Let's say we'll use the same old example, social media, YouTube, and we'll have Netflix up here. So I want to use the space under. You have to look at everything that's coming in, and then this isn't providing me anything, this isn't giving me anything, this isn't giving me anything, and then cutting down the amount of focus and time you're spending on these things that you cross out. Step 2 is focusing on the top 2 to 3 things. This could be work, business, family, friends, sports, hobbies, things that you actually get stuff out of, that you get enjoyment out of and fulfillment, and actually is purposeful. So for step 3, I'm going to crouch down again. I'm going to bring back the brain, or you could say basketball. I'll draw it here. Worst one yet. We'll create our little cavities. And the point is not to really do less, but create space in your brain for the things that actually matter to you. The things we talked about earlier, whether it's family, friends, business, fitness. Oh goodness. Fitness, nutrition, blah, 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 blah. So to sum, you do less of this to do more of this. Do less of the unimportant things, the things that don't add anything to your life, and do more of the things that are actually purposeful and you'll benefit off of. The secret to doing more isn't adding more to your plate. It's making room for the things that truly move the needle and letting the rest go, focusing on the things that are meaningful to you and actually you succeed from. A quote from yours truly is, "Be a time traveler. Every little decision counts. Every little decision can change the world." Do less, focus more, achieve big. I'll see you later.